I've had the Kindle for 3 weeks now, so today I want to tell you the 5 things I hate about it. Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome to the channel. So if you saw my last video on the Kindle, which was titled 5 Things I Love About the Kindle, I promised in that video that I was going to make a follow-up video on 5 things I hate about the Kindle, so that's going to be this video. The first thing I want to talk about is the lack of customizability. For one, there's very little font options. You only have about 10 fonts to choose from, and if I'm being completely honest, there's only about 3 that I would actually probably end up using. Although I will give perks to Amazon for adding Open Dyslexic to the font choice. I think that's really good for accessibility, so I do want to give them kudos for that. But 10 font options is really limiting. Not everyone's going to be like a font expert, so it'd be really nice if they're not going to at least extend how many font options you can choose, if they could give you recommendations based on the book. If you read a lot of like paperbacks and hardcovers, like physical copies, some books, some publishers put in their book a specific font, and they'll actually put like a little blurb about it at the beginning or the end and tell you like why they chose that font and that this font is a specific one for, fantasy or horror or romance. With ebooks, it's basically like you have one font option, and if you're unhappy with it, you can choose another, but you don't really know what's going to be the best one. So if they could give like 2 options or allow the publisher to say, these are the recommended fonts for our book, that would be great. And if a publisher can't do that, maybe Amazon could recommend, say, hey, this book is a fantasy book according to, our metadata, and, a good fantasy font is XYZ. And then there's the lack of options as far as lock screen goes. You really have 2 options if you want to change the lock screen. The first option is a random rotation of images from Amazon, and these are things like pens, pencils, keyboards, stuff related to books, and it's just a random assortment. You can't even pick a specific one to set. You have to have the random assortment going through the lock screen. Like every time you lock it and unlock it, it's going to change the lock screen. And then the second option is you can have the book cover of the current book you're reading to be the lock screen. You can't select a random book cover. You have to select specifically the one that you're reading, and then every time you lock it, it's just going to display. Personally, that's the one I enjoy, but if there was another option, I might choose that instead. If you have any other type of tablet or PC or Mac or phone, anything else, you can choose the lock screen in the background to pretty much be whatever you want. You can take a picture, you can, upload a photo, and you can set it to whatever you want. So I don't know why Amazon chose to only really give you 2 options for the lock screen. And then finally, for customizability, I wish they could improve upon the home screen recommendations. I think they just look at your previous purchases and then what you've listed on Goodreads for your want to reads and what you have read, and they basically just like suggest based on that. I wish there were like more choices. It'd be nice if they could have some filters where you could choose like, okay, I only want to see short stories, or I want to see horror today, things like that. With just a set down, straightforward home screen recommendations, you're not gonna get exactly what you're looking for. I might have read fantasy in the past and enjoyed it, but that doesn't mean that today I'm looking for fantasy. I could be looking for anything today. And if Amazon could improve the recommendations, I think that would actually help them, because it would, help them sell more books. So the second thing I dislike about the Kindle is how easy it is to get dirty. If you have like a smartphone or an iPad or something, usually you can wipe that clean from fingerprints with just like a microfiber cloth, or even like wiping it on your shirt or something. But with the Kindle, it's got a plastic backing, and it like attracts fingerprints and grime, and it gets very filthy like very quickly. And it's like almost impossible to wipe away unless you're going to use some type of cleaning solution. I haven't tried to clean mine with any like over-the-counter products or, alcohol water mix or anything like that, but I will do some research to see how to actually clean it. But I wish it was as easy like with any other smartphone or tablet that has like metal, if you could just wipe it away. The plastic backing was a poor choice, but I think they just did it to just like save money. The third thing I dislike about the Kindle is a page turn issue, which I initially thought was actually a bug, but it turns out it's not a bug. So there's really 2 ways to flip a page on the Kindle. You can swipe it back and forth, or you can like tap on the right side of the screen and then tap on the left side of the screen. I assumed that when you tap, it's like divided equally in like 50-50. Like if you tap on the left, it's going to go backwards, and you tap on the right, it's going to go forward. Unfortunately, that's not how it is. Maybe you enjoy this. Maybe you'll like this feature. I personally don't really like it, but it's actually the left side to swipe backwards, to go backwards, it's only 20% of the screen, and then to go forward, it's 80% of the screen. And I know why they did this. It's because, they're assuming that most people are going to be swiping forward. Who's going to, be reading a book backwards, or what's the likelihood that someone's going to have to go back in a book? So it's probably like, less than 10% of the time you're going to be going backwards. But I just kind of assumed that it was 50-50. So it really confused me for a while, and I'm pretty familiar with technology. So someone who's not as well versed in technology as me might find that pretty confusing. I mean, like, I even found it pretty confusing. So now that I know why it was it was going forward when I was trying to go backwards, it's not too big a deal. I can, make sure to tap the right area. But I kind of wish that they had like an option to actually make it 50-50. But maybe they'll release this, release that feature in a future software update, but we'll see. And the fourth thing I dislike about the Amazon Kindle is the fact that you're pretty much locked into their ecosystem unless you're willing to go out of your way. Amazon did release a feature recently, and if it's not released right now, it's going to be released very soon, where you can send an EPUB file to the Kindle email address, and then they'll automatically do the conversion for you so you can actually read it on there. But that's one extra step, and it's not as easy as just clicking a button on the Kindle store and then reading immediately. I don't think Amazon is ever going to release any feature where you can buy third-party ebooks directly from the Kindle, but it is something that I can complain about. I don't really like it. If I can avoid giving more money to Amazon, I do, but sometimes you really don't have much of a choice. For example, I recently bought a few books, and I couldn't buy them anywhere else except from the Kindle store. That was the only place that they were published, so I kind of had to buy them there. But in the future, if I find ebooks from another store, maybe Books A Million or something, I do plan on buying from there and then going through the little process of converting it and then putting it on the Kindle. I appreciate you making it this far into the video. If you're liking the video so far, please hit the like button. And if you want to see more content from me, please subscribe. Also, if you want to tell me your thoughts on the Kindle, I'd love to hear them, so go ahead and leave a comment below. So now for the fifth reason that I dislike the Kindle, the location of the power button. I have no idea what they were thinking by putting the power button on the bottom of the Kindle next to the charge port. Now, it doesn't really matter that it's next to the charge port, but it being on the bottom of the Kindle makes no sense at all. Pretty much every phone I've ever used, or every modern smartphone or every tablet, they all have the power button either on the left or right or on the top of the device. If you're using the Kindle, you're going to lay back and, read in bed and maybe you rest it on your chest. It's going to be very easy to accidentally tap that power button and then lock the screen. And the same thing goes if you're like laying on the couch. If you're trying to lay on the couch, just a little bit too much pressure and then you lock the screen and you're going to have to unlock it. And it's kind of just throws you out of the reading experience. So those are the 5 things I dislike about the Kindle. Overall, I love the Kindle. I plan on continuing to read on it for the foreseeable future. I just have a few complaints that I wanted to, air out here on YouTube. But if you want to check me out on Twitter, I'm at Chris Digresses on Twitter. And then on Instagram, I'm at Chris Digresses into Books. So I appreciate you watching the video, and I hope to see you next time.